Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the boater, Mike the mariner are the crew today as we navigate the latest boating news and information and talk about my worldly travels of living on a boat, which makes me an official boater, like 2 notches above Barry the boater. And I don't know if Mike's on a boat now, so I can't really
wait.
promote myself above him. How big
is this boat?
The boat was 125 feet long.
That's a yacht.
That is a ship. It is a boat. It's it's interchangeable, Barry.
Yeah.
We're not going to rehash all this nonsense again.
No, you're going to use proper nautical language on this show.
Well, I am. And it was a boat. We lived on a boat. Yeah.
So tell us about this boat. 125 feet. I want to hear about this. This is good.
Well, it was a 125-foot live-aboard dive vessel, which means you live aboard it, of course. Just like yours. Yeah, you can live on
Stay
yours.
aboard.
Yours is a stay aboard?
You can live on.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's a live aboard.
Yeah. And but this one's set up for diving. It is one of the biggest dive charter live aboard vessels in the Caribbean, one of the highest rated as well. It's very nice. It has kind of that yacht look to it for sure when you're looking at it from the water line, because it has a lot of the fiberglass kind of construction as opposed to like a steel hull freighter or something that they've converted into a live aboard, which a lot of dive vessels have done that, by the way. But this looks more like your traditional yacht. You're right. We were anchored off the coast of the Turks and Caicos, and we were actually anchored off one of the very high-end resorts where a lot of movie stars go. And they spend like $2,000 a night. And we were sitting at the top of this boat, and they were like looking at us going, I wish you could be us.
You're standing on the boat with binoculars looking back at them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
What's the name of the boat?
It's the Turks and Caicos Explorer 2, which Explorer Ventures live aboard dive company owns. And last time I was on that boat a few years ago, Will Smith and his family was at that resort, and so we were looking for him. We didn't see him then, and on this time I was just looking over there to see. But I know they were looking from the beach, going, "Gosh, I wish we could be on that yacht like those high class divers." They're paying over $2,000 a night, and trust me, it wasn't that much for us. So it kind of from a distance, it looks more maybe swanky than what they think, because we're out on the water, we kind of look the part, we're wearing bathing suits and board shorts and that kind of thing, and when all those rich folks are looking from the beach, you bend over, moon them, and move on.
And you're walking around with your cocktail and
yes, yeah, the drinks are included
sunglasses,
on this vessel. It's like a cruise ship, it's like a cruise ship for divers is what this whole setup is like. But we cruised around the Turks and Caicos Islands and did some great diving. The weather was, the downside is we had a nice breeze all week, so it kept the air temperature very comfortable, because it's been really hot all
Even
over.
out there? Okay.
Yeah, no, but there was a constant breeze. We had about 15 knots of wind going, which wasn't enough for it to whip up the seas too much. So we still had okay diving. It stirred up the Viz a little bit, Barry, which just sucks for divers, right? And we couldn't go to this place called French Key, unfortunately, because it's unprotected. So we stuck to the Turks and Caicos main island and West Caicos, which is a little, off to the west of the main island there and less inhabited and that kind of thing. So we had some pretty good remote diving and things like that over there. But because the breeze was going, it stirred up the Viz, brought the Viz down a little bit. And, we didn't have that gin clear water I was hoping to experience that I have in the past in the Turks and Caicos. That said, if we wouldn't have the breeze, we would have probably, caught on fire because
So you were on the boat the whole week?
yeah, for an entire week,
Yeah.
Saturday to Saturday.
And
yeah.
So all the meals, all the prep, all that stuff.
Yep.
And there were no ports of call or anything.
No
It was
ports.
Just, you know,
We're on a
you just
boat,
left.
on your own private boat for a week with about 20 divers. So it's
Wow. And-
pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
And you didn't stop at any
Nope.
other ports to go walk around
was-
or anything.
there
So
was
you
no
were
port to
literally
go
on the boat
to.
for a week.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
West Caicos is just a kind of deserted island, and has some kind of cool beaches and rock shore and stuff. We could have taken the dinghy out there and just kind of cruised and explored, but we didn't even do that. You just stay on your boat all week,
But
dive, eat, sleep. Yes, Barry.
I believe, Mike, what they do is that as they fly over in their little seaplane, they push out the passengers, and they open up a parachute and then kind of float in, and then they pick them out of the water. For
Incorrect, Barry. Incorrect.
No?
You're
Launch
gonna
you with a catapult or something.
Yeah,
off the
right.
beach?
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to get a demerit for that one. That is not accurate whatsoever.
What was the depth you were diving at? You said that the viz was not great.
Well,
was
we're
it
doing
shallow as that?
recreational diving. We're a lot of walls. The dive profiles are pretty similar around the Turks and Caicos, where you just have, this sandy white sand beach underwater, maybe about 40 feet or so, and then you'll hit a wall, and then it goes off into the abyss. So you can go down as deep as you want. Recreational limit, 130 feet.
130 feet. Yeah.
So, but I don't think I even I didn't crack 100 feet all week. You didn't need to. So just cruise along the wall, which is, man, I'll tell you, that is the best type of diving. It's so
What's
easy.
the water temperatures now?
Well, that I'll get to that, but just
okay.
real quick, I just want to say, if anybody listening right now is not a scuba diver, this is the closest thing you come to being in space. When you glide off of the edge of the wall into the abyss and you just float over the abyss on the side of the wall like that, I mean, there's nothing like it. It is total weightlessness, and it feels like you are in space, because you kind of are. That's how they train the astronauts. But it's really an amazing experience. They kind of call it wall flying, and I was taking in full advantage of that all week. And Barry, I know you're jealous because you're a diver.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, as you should be. Suck it, loser.
Thank you.
But you can do it too, just like anyone else. Okay, now so the water temp. We've had those stories where off the coast of Florida, they've evidently had some buoys measure like 100 degrees water temp.
Right.
And I will
On the
say,
bayside, yes.
I will say this was the warmest water I have ever scuba dived in. And when on the first dive, we jumped in, I wasn't even really thinking about it, but I'm just diving in board shorts and, a rash guard, and that's it. That's usually what I would do in the summertime anyway in the Caribbean. But I'm diving, and about 10 minutes into the dive, I'm like, golly, I'm like hardly wearing nothing, and I feel kind of warm. This is weird. And I look down at my dive computer, 86 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is
it was
warm
like that in the
water.
Keys a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was like that in the Keys a few weeks ago, and I was really surprised when we went down there for mini season, just how balmy the water was compared to years in the past. And even where I am now, here on the St. Johns River, the water is 90 degrees, close to 90 degrees in this basin, and it's really affecting the air conditioning systems on all the boats, including mine, because you only get a 14 or 15 degree split between the temperature of the water and what the air conditioning units can deliver. So I mean, it really does affect.
It's not helping. That's for sure. Yeah, and 86 degrees. That was the coolest all week. It actually hit 87 on one dive, which I was shocked. But you're down at 40, 60 feet. Barry will back me up this when you're diving. That is really warm. I mean, that is very warm. I mean, that's kind of
that deep.
Yeah, the level. I mean, you kind of lose the refreshing element of scuba diving like that when it's that warm. My sweet spot's around 83, 84.
I like it warm though.
Well, I do too. But maybe for a night dive, 86 is good. But during the day, 83, 84, you get that slight refreshing feeling rushing all over your nether regions. All right, I'll stop. More coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Ahoy, sailors and sea-loving scalawags! Do you feel lost at sea when your boat needs an upgrade? And does installing electronics make you want to walk the plank? Well, shiver me timbers and fear not, because MPI, Marine Professionals Incorporated, has come to the rescue. MPI is ready to steer your boat into the digital age. That's right, mates. The installation gurus at MPI can install the latest navigation gizmos. MPI installs all the major manufacturers of state-of-the-art entertainment systems. We've got speakers that'll make Davy Jones dance, and screens so sharp you'll think you're watching Pirates of the Caribbean in 3D. So, if you're ready to sail the digital seas in style and party like a true buccaneer, call me mates at MPI 954-763-4161 or request your free consultation now at marineprofessionals.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Pirate!
What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor at the light in the morning? Way in, she raises way in, she raises way in, she raises at the light in the morning.
This is the world of boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the boater, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information, and talking about my adventures on a boat for an entire week. Yeah, I got Barry beat easily. That makes me more of a boater this week than he is, even though his name is Barry the boater.
I'm waiting for my truck to get repaired, and then we'll get the boat back out.
Okay. Well, for this week, I'm going to bask in the
you can bask
glory.
in it all you like.
Yeah,
yes.
Because it was sweet cruising around in your own private vessel. For a whole week around the Turks and Caicos. Really nice place, by the way, to boat. So if you have a sailboat or you want to go down there, it's kind of like, south of the Bahamas. And and there's plenty of little cuts and things that you can shelter your vessel, behind West Caicos on the leeward side, and just anchor up on a mooring over there. And it's paradise. It just doesn't get much better than that.
And he used the proper terminology, leeward side.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
There's hope for you yet.
Yeah. But the wind did keep the temperatures at bay topside, because I have been on this trip before where I'd get out there and there wasn't as much of a breeze and you fried like a lobster. It was hot. The top of the boat, like you could hardly walk across the deck without burning your feet because it was just radiating. But the cool breeze actually made it very, very, very nice sailing for the entire week. It just kind of screwed up our visibility on the diving a little bit, but it didn't really mess up things too much. So enough about me.
I
could go on for the entire show and then next week, but I guess I'll give Mike the Mariner an opportunity to chime in with something. What have you been up to on your boat there, buddy?
Oh, just a couple of repairs. I've had some air conditioning issues with the forward air conditioning unit. Got that repaired.
Yeah, that had nothing to do
had-
with the warm water that you were talking about.
No. Actually, it's a fairly new unit, but the evaporator motor failed, so had to order one of those, and it's pretty hard to get to. So a little bit of a challenge, but got that done. But had a little problem with, I guess, a fitting that didn't go back in properly, and I opened up a hatch after running it for 6 hours, and there was water in the forward bilge. So chased that down and got that fixed. Now just getting ready. We've got a tropical system that looks like it's going to pay a visit to us next week, and
What?
so
Uh-oh.
yeah, that's what we're hearing.
Which one is,
So,
what storm, name storm
It
is
doesn't
this
have
one?
a name. It doesn't have a name. Right now, it's a low pressure center over the Yucatan Peninsula,
Yeah.
and the projection is that it's going to spin up and head up into Florida. So we're here. We're here at the boat this weekend, spending the weekend just playing around. We're going to take her out later this afternoon for a little evening cruise, and then when we get back, double up all the lines, get everything all set,
Well-
and prepared.
Well, so you're saying this storm out there you're keeping an eye on, that's going to screw up Labor Day weekend, isn't it? Potentially.
It could. It
Yeah, for
could,
people up in
that-
the Panhandle more.
Okay, good, because I'm planning to go down the Keys.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't want it to mess up my
no,
plans.
you're going to be fine in the Keys. No,
All
it's,
right.
it's more,
That's
probably
funny.
more than likely going to affect. We'll be on the stronger side of the storm if it passes to our west.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it's not a super soaker like we had last year that caused all the flooding. That was just
Yeah.
You
horrible.
may want to disconnect your electronics in case of any electrical issues later.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Don't bring that up, Barry. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
right.
I
Yeah.
came back to a
No.
nightmare and lightning strike to the World of Boating headquarters. So I came
Yeah.
back from paradise and paid the price. It was like payback time. And let's see, I just found out right before the show I lost another monitor. And I was like,
Oh man,
$3-4
Well,
grand
it's-
later, I got
What
us
do
up
they
and
call
running
it?
today.
Karma?
it's never good when 40,000 volts goes through your wiring. I mean,
No,
you
I'll
can
tell
test
you
it
what.
one time. That's a
Mhm.
one-time test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I will say I took all the precautions, still got nailed. So it's been hell week getting everything running, but I think everything's running today. And if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch, well, trust me, it's a pure act of God that we made it on the air today. And a lot of headaches and troubleshooting and everything, but I think everything seems to be running. So we're good to
No,
go.
that's good.
Yeah. So we didn't let a little lightning strike ruin the World of Boating this week. And you're welcome, or
Awesome.
we apologize.
Yeah,
Depending
one
on-
of the two.
Yeah, depending on your perspective. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Barry, why were you laughing when I said I hope that doesn't screw up my plans for the Keys? It was like,
Just because it was.
What?
I hope I have a good time. I'm not worried about what's happening in the Panhandle this week. Yeah, we'll have a great time over Labor Day.
well,
weekend.
no, I just don't want it to ruin my, Labor Day plans like everybody else in Florida. I mean, I'm not wishing any bad luck
Oh,
for folks
no,
up
I
in
know
the
that.
Panhandle.
But
I
he's
know.
fine with it ruining mine. I mean, he's going to go to the Keys and have a great time. I'm going to be up here, watching the boat and tightening the lines. And
Well, he wanted to hunt lobsters during the beginning of the season, but he had all these other,
That's right.
Yeah.
tough jobs to do, like going to the Turkish and
Turkish?
Caicos. The Turkish and Caicos.
the Turkish Caicos.
The Turkish Caicos.
Turkish
for a
chaos.
trip.
Yeah.
When he tells me about the hard work he has going to these different dive destinations and flying
Mhm.
to different air shows, and I just shake my head and say,
Somebody sounds jelly.
Yeah. I missed out on a day of lobstering. So we went down for the mini season,
Yeah.
and on Wednesday we left right at dawn to head out to the reef. And soon as we got set on our first spot, this major storm rolled in,
Mm.
and it went from dead calm to white caps within 15 minutes.
Wow.
And so we literally, all the boats out there were hundreds of boats. You could see everybody had to go back in. It was really, really rough. So we
Yeah.
missed out on Wednesday. Thursday it was murky because of the previous
Wind.
day's storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But were you
But-
diving or snorkeling for them? on day 2 or no?
We just Frito.
Yeah.
We didn't take tanks out.
Yeah.
But no, it was bad. I mean, we literally got there, and I think 2 of us got in the water for 5 minutes, and we're like, "Get out of the water. We got to go back in. This is going to be bad." You know, we're looking at radar. We're looking at the weather.
Right.
Looking at the wind.
A lot of
and the
boats
wind
out there,
kicked up.
though, right? I
Yeah,
assume.
there were. And,
Oh, the Keys
on-
is on mini season. The lines on US One are amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
coming out on on Friday. Well, you were down there through the weekend, right, Mike?
we were there for that full week,
Right.
And you're talking about weather. I mean, if you could figure out how to put a trailer hitch on a helicopter, you'd
You were
be
there.
well ahead of the game.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to find out if Mike actually got in the water at some point and did snag some lobsters, because he has not said a word about how he was bringing some for Barry and I to eat. We'll find out next of the results on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish because I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the boater, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew. All right, so Mike, you went down to the Keys for Florida spiny lobster
Yes,
season,
sir.
mini season. And did you already eat all your tails, or were the ones for Barry and I?
Well, we had dump truck fulls. See, we limited out so much that we had to get a barge. No, I'm kidding. We
Kidding.
No,
you limited
no,
out
we-
on the
we-
radio, is what you're trying to say.
I limited out in my brain. Maybe.
Uh-huh.
No, we
right.
the second day was really the only day we got a chance to go, and it was murky. We got about 8 or 10,
Yeah.
and of course we had a cookout every Thursday that week. Every year we have a big cookout and bring other families that we vacation with in, and of course we ate all the lobster.
Oh, you
Sorry.
son of a...
What kind of boat were you on? Since this is World of
We were
Boating?
on my dad's boat. My dad has a 42-foot Invincible, and so we take that down there. We move it down from Fort Pierce. He keeps it in Fort Pierce. We move it down to the Keys every year in July. Keep it down there and do some fishing and some lobstering and all that stuff, and then move it back at the end of July.
Where do you keep
So we
it
were on
docked?
his boat. Behind the
planning to
house,
steal it?
there's a house that we rent down there. The same
Oh,
house
there
every
is.
year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You got
we rent
the
a house,
coordinates of the GPS.
Yeah, here he comes.
I'll send you a drop pin so you
Thank
can
you.
crash the
Okay.
party next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't need
So,
any
no,
of that.
We have a great time.
Yeah,
we-
just bring me some lobster tail next time. Yeah, just
Yeah.
put them on ice.
Well, we-
You don't have to eat them all, Mike. Come on now.
Well, we didn't have enough to bring back, but
yeah.
no, we had a good time. We do it every year. We've been doing it since I was a kid, actually.
Wow.
So, and our vacations have always been around boating, and 4 families that my parents were friends with all had boats, and so they started vacationing together when I was a kid. Now we're still vacationing together, 3 generations later. So there's kids and grandkids, and
That's awesome.
Yeah,
no, that's
it's
what
a great-
boating's all about. That's you're making the best of it right there. Ain't no doubt.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
now I got to ask though, during mini season, we were telling all the passengers to be careful because a lot of people come out of the woodwork for that event, including all the divers, and they may or may not be very avid boaters, or they boat once a year. Did you see any kind of shenanigans going on, or were you out in a remote area where you saw other boaters, but you didn't have any problems with the number of vessels out on the water?
No, so we were in an area where it's pretty busy. Off Key Largo, it's a pretty busy area. You've got the Penny Camp Park there, and people come out of Blackwater Sound and go out there to the Atlantic side for the lobstering. In years past, we've seen crazy things. It seems like over the past maybe 5, 6, maybe even up to 10 years, we've seen it be a lot more calm. You see a whole lot fewer people getting stopped and inspected, and it just seems like people are just keeping things, more in check. The craziness that you used to see with, 100 shorts, in a cooler, and guy on the side of the road getting his boat impounded. You don't see so much of that or hear so much of that anymore. It seems like people have. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think people have calmed down. I remember some years where people did stupid things. We were lobstering one time down in the Middle Keys, in a cut between 2 islands, and this guy came ballooning through on his boat at high speed and went right between 2 boats that had 2 dive flags up, and probably, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 people in the water, many of whom were kids, and this guy just blasted right through. You don't really see that anymore. It just seems like people are maybe getting a little smarter. I don't know.
Yeah, a little more boating educated, and that's good to see. I mean, because you always hear all these nightmare scenarios with divers getting run over and things like that. That's never something
that actually happened to someone I know, and it was big news about 7 years ago off of Palm Beach, where a diver got hit by a 40-foot boat. I saw it on the news, and then found out a week later it was someone I knew. And
wow,
it was just one of those things where, in years past, you would see a boat approach an area where there were 3 or 4 boats with dive flags up, and you're like, why would this person come in at this speed? But it seems like people are being a little bit more careful these days.
Well, good.
At least where we are.
Sometimes they're running autopilot and they're not paying attention. They've set their course up and the boat's just plowing right through, and then all of a sudden they realize, wait, there's boats out here with dive flags. So.
Yeah. Well,
that's lack of situational awareness, and that's absolute. That would be. That's just, there's no excuse for that. I mean, you have to have situational awareness and have your boat under control at all times. And if you're certainly navigating through an area that, is going over a reef area or something like that, you shouldn't even be on autopilot. You should be well clear of those areas.
Very true. Very true. And, thing is, obviously you don't want to be anybody's, as a diver, you don't want to get hit by a boat. You don't want to be that guy, but you don't want to be the guy who hit someone either. I mean, that's almost worse in some ways. I mean, well, not really.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, my friend was in the hospital for many, many months.
Right, but the emotional scarring that whole thing would leave if that happened to you. So you just got to be very, very careful during that time of year.
Yeah, in dive areas, the best thing is still stay well clear of any boat that's displaying a dive flag, and keep your speed in check, in those areas.
Right. Yeah. My only complaint, once again, is you didn't bring us any, Mike. How dare you? You could have. You could have bought some on the side of the road on the way back up and said, "Hey, I caught these," and just lied to us. We wouldn't care.
I'll swing by Lighthouse Seafood. My friend Tim keeps some tails there all the time.
Oh, okay.
I'll drop them off.
I was going to say, fished in Ecuador or something
gonna
like that.
Guilt
Hey,
him into helping us out there, Barry. I love this.
You know, in the Keys, there's a sheriff. He has a great name, Sheriff Rick Ramsey.
Okay.
You ever heard that name before? Yeah. He was involved in arresting 11 people in a big GPS theft ring throughout Florida.
Okay.
Good for him.
So not only does he have a cool name, he's doing his job. Is that what you're trying to say?
He's doing this job. This 11 people had targeted 17 counties in Florida, including Bay, Brevard. What is it?
Brevard.
Brevard. Sorry. Broward, Collier, Charlotte, Duval, Hillsborough, Indian River, Manatee, Martin, Miami-Dade, Monroe, Palm Beach, Pasco, Pinellas, St. Lucie, and St. John's. They were specifically after GPS equipment made by Garmin, which happens to be a top-notch company.
How did they catch them? Does it say?
Yeah, they had started. Yeah, they started watching these different areas, tracking GPSs as these boats would go by, and I guess I don't know if they would drive there or they would actually go on their own boats to steal this equipment. But a lot of boats are left at docks behind houses, and it's always made me nervous. With Walt when he would have his boat out there, but he never had an issue. But it was a big GPS theft ring. They've all been arrested. I know that I was watching the news. One of them was arrested and then let out on bond, and the next day was out there doing it again. I guess he had to make sure he had enough money coming in to pay for his defense attorney. So it's good that our law enforcement is out there and catching these people because, it's become sad.
It is very sad. Well, at least Ranger Rick or whatever his name is in the Keys is at least trying. So hats off to him. More coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
You can't have 5 people or 10 people in a boat.
So if it is a family of 4 or 5, like husband, wife, and kids, they're going to have to pick 2 of them at a time.
They would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Greaseball, where did you get the right to tell me how many people can come on my boat? Nobody asked that question. Whoa, really? It's on the boat or on the dock? Nobody said anything.
Sweetly sailing, darling, sweetly sailing by the sea.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner. We are your crew navigating the latest boating news and information. And, giving props to law enforcement, Marine Patrol doing their job. Catching those crooks that are trying to steal your GPS in Florida. They nailed a ring, I guess, which is good for Ranger who? What you like his name?
Rick Ramsey.
Rick Ramsey.
Yes,
Marine
the
Patrol.
Sheriff.
Oh, Sheriff.
The sheriff, yes.
Okay.
He's the sheriff for the Keys.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So hats off to him for doing his job. But, I don't know. I mean, what can you do to protect yourself from having your GPS ripped off other than have it locked up in your house like Barry does?
I don't know if I don't know if you could take these big glass Garmin GPSs and kind of lock them out when you turn off the boat. Put it, have it set up with some kind of password that you can't open it or run it.
But that wouldn't help deter getting it stolen, though. I mean,
well, it's like, isn't it true?
Making it useless or something?
Ask Greg because he loves Apple products. If you have an iPhone that's stolen, can't you disable it and where no one can use it? It would just become a parts type phone.
That is true. You can, yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't know that till they get it home and hook it up and all that stuff. Usually,
No, they knew what they were looking for, and they knew what they needed to steal and how to steal it without breaking it, because it's kind of worthless if you break it.
True.
So
but I don't
you
know. Is there anything else? I mean, they can do other than, take if you get a unit that is portable, obviously, and you can take it out of the boat. But other than that, all you can do is put some kind of panel on the front of it and, cross your fingers, I guess. You had any ideas there, Mike, or what do you think?
No, I mean, if someone, any of the boats in this marina, if we've had a few burglaries over the years, one of which occurred when I was on my boat. He didn't enter my boat, but when they were looking for him, the police officers looking for him boarded my vessel while I was asleep at like 4 o'clock in the morning. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
But there have been a few thefts around here. I don't remember anybody stealing electronics, but there's been outboard motors for skiffs stolen, and just general gear, bicycles and things like that. In fact, I had a bicycle stolen off my boat about 7 years ago here in this marina.
Really?
But not bad. It hasn't been.
Well, that's why they got those signs up there that you're not allowed on the docks unless you're an owner. But the booglers don't care if they
don't
can sneak
care.
in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and if you can't go over the fence and you happen to be in a boat,
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a boat heading down the canal. Oh, he probably lives here.
Right. You just look the
Well,
part.
I mean, it can happen in many different types of marinas, but a friend of mine must be listening right now because he just texted me and said they need to stay in nicer marinas if they don't want their electronics stolen. But,
well, there's that.
I mean, it can happen anywhere.
Right.
It can happen anywhere, right?
Yeah. Well, just don't leave anything, of value on the deck, like a bike or anything. It's easily accessible. Other than that, than putting like, big glass, acrylic cover on your electronics with a lock.
There's not a lot you can do. I mean, boats are not like super tight. I mean, I lock my door when I leave for the week, but any boat around here can be opened with a screwdriver. I mean, they're just
don't say that.
secure.
Well, I mean, no, if you've been on a boat, you know that.
By the way, Mike lives in North Carolina, just for the record.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's nothing on my boat that's of any value. When I'm not here, there's nothing here that is worth stealing.
It's not worth going to jail or prison over
or
these
getting shot.
electronics. Yeah. Or getting shot.
I mean, because if you board my vessel,
in this state, you're
unannounced.
allowed to protect. Yep, that's right.
Yes.
Right.
But it's just it's a lot of equipment, and there's got to be a way to, before you shut it down for the evening. I can't believe there's no password protection, nothing like you have for a computer where you can just type in something, a key, or to make it less usable to the aftermarket.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, just don't make it easy for them, is what you're saying.
Right.
Any roadblocks you can put up in the way of the booglers, the better.
Well, what I like is, in like a marina like this, there's a lot of liveaboards here, and they all look out for everybody. So I don't live here, but I'm here on the weekends. But when I'm gone, if something's going on with my boat, I get a phone call from one of my friends, that's here.
Except when Mike's there and he's sleeping at 4 a.m. and they're looking for someone. What? Something happened?
Well, if someone's not up at 4 a.m. But I had a police officer board my vessel while I was asleep. He was looking for a burglar that had boarded another vessel down at the end of the dock, and I had to have a conversation with them about that because that could have gone bad. That was a bad,
Yeah.
But in general, it's not that bad around here or any other place. I mean, that I've kept a boat.
Well, it's terrible down by Barry.
Well, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
But he has his boat in his garage.
Mine's in the garage, and it's funny because Walt has asked a few times. He suggested, hey, I could leave my boat, behind his house there, in Fort Lauderdale, and I said, nah, no, it's safer in the garage. That's where it's going to live.
Right. So the only way they're going to get Barry's boat is if he has a home invasion, which isn't that far out of the realm of possibility in his neck of the woods. But
yeah, Lake Mary.
Okay. There's that. But I don't know. Where are you off to next, though, Mike? I mean, so you're doing a thing for Labor Day too? You're planning to be out on the water next weekend?
We're just gonna we're gonna do a 2 or 3 day little jaunt downriver. I don't know how far we're gonna get. Probably go to at least St. John's Marina, or maybe Renegades. I'm not sure. We have some friends going to Renegades, but I don't think we'll go that far.
Right.
My son's getting married next month, so I'm trying to make sure we have enough time to get planning done and things like that. But I do need a day or two off on the boat. It's time for that.
Right.
It's a little overdue.
You got to have some Mike time.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. What about you, Barry? You going to head out for Labor Day weekend and do anything?
From what I've been told that we may be going diving for Labor Day weekend.
So you will join us if this pans out the way we hope?
If I can do it, I will. Yes,
all
absolutely.
Right. Okay.
I got 2 full tanks, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right. And maybe we'll snag some lobster. I mean, that's a possibility, too. That'll be icing on the cake. We don't have to go lobstering, even though season will be wide open.
No.
The boys just want to get wet. They just want to go diving down in the Keys. So if we do any lobstering, that'll be bonus. But what, you're not going to lobster? I mean, you're not going to dive unless you're lobstering?
No, if we're going to dive, then I can lobster.
Okay.
Whether or not, But whatever I catch then comes home with me.
Wrong. No, there's a price to play.
Unless you're paying for my dive trip.
Well, maybe I can work a deal. I'll work a deal, pull some strings, and, but you pay me in lobster tail.
We could do that.
Okay. All right. There's some bartering that's going to have to take place.
You're always trying to get some tail.
Oh, hey. Who isn't? Come on now. All right. On that disturbing note, and before we get in any more trouble, we'll wrap it up. Whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab.
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.